But I think the more egregious instance of this sort of look at me narcissism politics that is coming from the left happened earlier this week in the People's Republic of New York City, involving mayoral candidate and comptroller Brad Lander. Ross, you used to live in the People's Republic of New York City. Do you even remember who Brad Lander is?
No clue whatsoever. I knew a guy named Landry, not Lander.
And by the way, you once held a party title in Brooklyn, New York, where Brad Lander hails from and was once a member of council. Did you even remember that?
Nope. He's a loser. He's like a Padilla, but in New York.
Well, before this incident that we're going to be talking about, Brad Lander was a city council member from a very far left area of Brooklyn, near downtown Brooklyn, which is very, very ultra liberal, ultra high net worth area, much like Dan Goldman is for Congress. And then he became comptroller, because that's what the party machine does. They elevate people up to different levels. And now he's running for mayor of the People's Republic of New York in a very heavy Democratic field. And to say that he hasn't been doing great is a bit of an understatement. If you look at the polls, and I just want to, let me take down the banner, and I will bring up a poll to share with you here. If you look at all the polls taken before this incident that happened yesterday as we're taping this, you wouldn't be shocked to see that Brad Lander isn't exactly doing great in this primary. I don't know if this is easy for you guys to see, but this is from the New York Times, and this is talking about like some of the aggregated polls going on here. Brad Lander, in the three most recent polls, two of which ended on Monday, had been polling at 6%, 9%, and 8% respectively. When you compare that to, pieces of crap like Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani, who are polling at, upper 30s, lower 40s respectively, you realize that Lander doesn't really have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. So what do you do when you don't have a chance to win? Well, it's pretty simple. You start making a fool of yourself, and you hope that helps you propel to some instant momentum. And there's precedent for this, by the way, pal. I don't know if you can remember that far back, but back during the primaries, I would say 8 years ago, Bill de Blasio was arrested at a protest, and that ended up helping propel him to a win in the Democratic primary there. In fact, I'm going to put this up on the screen just to show that there's precedent for what I'm talking about here. This is an article also from the New York Times, and the headline, de Blasio arrested just as he wanted. And there's the money shot right there for him. This is not new, this kabuki theater. Bill de Blasio, a candidate for mayor, was slapped into plastic cuffs on Wednesday and driven off in a white police van from outside the Midtown Manhattan offices of the SUNY Chancellor, where de Blasio led a demonstration against the public closing of Long Island College Hospital in Brooklyn, which happens to be in the same area where Brad Lander was representing when he was in the city council. Coincidence or playbook, pal?
Bro, have you ever thought you'd live long enough to see the day where Bill de Blasio doesn't seem that extreme as a Democrat anymore? Like, Bill de Blasio was probably the worst mayor of the city of New York ever. I would say in our lifetime, but I would venture to say ever, even with all the corruption in Tammany Hall and all those things.
Really?
Bill de Blasio was probably the worst because he got handed a pretty good city and drove it into the dirt relatively quickly.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I would agree with that.
Today's standards, man, he is not that bad compared to his kinfolk in the Democratic Party running around New York and California.
Well, I mean, he's pretty bad. Let's not minimize de Blasio just because there's new hotness going on right now. Let's not do that.
Well, I mean, even that arrest at that protest, I don't think de Blasio would try to impede federal officers doing their job. I just don't think he would do it. He would talk a good game, but I don't think he'd be dumb enough to do what these guys are doing now.
Well, yeah, he's a soft Nancy boy. I would agree with that. But Brad Lander took this to the nth degree now in this video outside of a federal immigration court in 26 Federal Plaza. It's a federally controlled office building. I'm going to be stopping and starting through this, pal, because there's certain points I want to make with you that we're going to be discussing throughout here. But here is some video of the incident involving Brad Lander. And we're going to stop it right in the beginning because I want you to watch what he does when he sees the officers approaching this illegal immigrant that's going to be on the left side of him. Right there. Did you see that? I'm going to rewind it back so everybody can see it again.
He did the little
hang on. Gotta go back
kumbaya lock elbow routine.
Yep, right there. Locks arms with the person that the officers, I think it was ICE, it could be Federal Protective Service, could be Homeland Security. I don't know exactly who it was. One of those federal agencies that came up to him.
Guys, back up, guys. Back up. I understand. You're pregnant, but I need you to back up. If you're interfering with this arrest, we have to arrest.
Did you hear the conversation there? I need you to back up. Are you going to interfere with this arrest? The officer is trying to de-escalate and talk down the situation here, which is what they're trained to do.
I have a question, Gene.
Yeah, sure.
What business did the New York City comptroller have in a federal courthouse? Why was he there?
Because he has made it his mission, his self-appointed mission, to escort illegal immigrants around the city. He's been doing this for a couple of days now.
Well, I'm assuming this was a weekday during work hours. Why was he there? Why wasn't he comptrolling the city of New York with their, $160 billion budget or whatever it is?
Right. He has, as Coffee Grinder says, he has no legal standing in this incident. Absolutely. He's not doing that work because he's running for office. He's on the campaign trail.
On company time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just like you and I would be able to do. Right?
Sure.
Absolutely. So let's continue on with the clip here.
Back up, guys.
I just want to stop it there. They're obviously trying to physically pull him apart. He is resisting, and he's asking the officer, do you have a judicial warrant? For those of you who may not know, again, the setting of this was a federal immigration court. Guess what you don't need in order to arrest an illegal immigrant in and around a federal building outside of federal immigration court? Oh, that's right. You don't need a judicial warrant. All you need is an administrative warrant signed by an immigration official, and that's good enough to effectuate the arrest. I don't know if people know that. Certainly Brad Lander didn't know it, pal. Or maybe he did, and he just didn't give a shit and wanted his viral moment.
Yeah, and for those people that have paid attention to the news over the last couple of days, the Trump administration put out a terrific stat that they said May of 2025, the administration released exactly 0 border crossers into the country. 0. In May of last year, the Biden administration released over 62,000 into the country. Why? Because immigration law says that if you are here illegally, you are to be detained until you get your hearing in a court. Not that you get to live here, work here, send your kids to school here, start a life, grow roots in the community, go to court hearings when you choose to. You're supposed to be detained if you are here legally until your due process, right? So all the people roaming around, including this guy in this video with the idiotic comptroller of the city of New York, should be detained, and that's what these agents are doing. They're not doing anything wild. They're waiting in immigration courts, waiting for these people to show up, and they're still going to get their due process, but they're going to be detained until they get their hearings. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And if Congress don't like it, by the way, Congress should change it. They made that law. They are enforcing, the executive branch is doing their constitutional duty enforcing the laws of the land duly enacted under the Constitution of the United States.
And what Trump is doing also, and I think this needs to be pointed out, he has been taking some of these immigration court proceedings, and those that have cases have been dismissed, and they've been placing these illegal immigrants in expedited removal, which is a fast-track deportation that allows for a deportation to go forward without going before these judges. So these people are going to court finding out that their proceeding has been dismissed and they've been fast-tracked for deportation. What better place to grab them and detain them than at a court proceeding where they're being transitioned from this normal court proceeding to this expedited process?
Government efficiency. I don't know if Doge helped streamline this process or not, but it seems to be working even better.
It's even better, pal, because under past administrations, like you just were talking about, a dismissal of a case was a signal that the government wasn't prioritizing their deportation. So the word that was probably out there was, oh, your case got dismissed? Yeah, show up to the dismissal. They're not going to be going after you that much anymore, except they are. It's a brilliant tactic by the Trump administration in this sort of reform, that a proceeding that would have normally lulled someone into a sense of security is now showing up to be a fast track to getting sent back out, which to me is just brilliant. Just want to grab a comment here. Judicial warrant is used to access secured, restricted, or private property, which requires a judge's signature. Absolutely correct. We didn't need one of those here, but still, Lander and his people are asking for this judicial warrant, and he's doing it in the middle of a physical tussle with law enforcement.
This is not legal to take someone without a judicial warrant.
Please don't put him
And whoever that woman was, she's totally wrong.
in the elevator and then claim you have the warrant.
We don't have a warrant for him.
I will let go when you show me the judicial warrant. Where is it? Where is the warrant?
Now, Ross, I know you have a little bit of a law enforcement background from when you were in the military. I think you worked as an MP for a while. Is this obstruction of an official proceeding?
Yeah, well, it's definitely obstruction, period. I don't want to use the 1512 language that they went after the January 6th protesters with, but clearly he is impeding that arrest, right? There's no doubt about that.
You know what? Let me say it a different way. Is he impeding a federal officer in the course of his duties?
100%, Gene. He should have been thrown to the ground harder than Padilla and arrested right there on the spot, right? He is clearly obstructing justice there. They are doing their duty in accordance with the law, and he is obstructing.
Does it look to you like he is assaulting law enforcement?
It could be argued yes, right? And I would let a court decide that, but at the bare minimum, he should have been arrested. And he should have been removed from the facility, right? What was his purpose there?
Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. His purpose there was to escort illegal immigrants into this court proceeding and try to escort them out of the building. And clearly, it was to impede federal officers should they showed up, like they did here.
Well, his purpose was, much like Padilla and much like you opened the segment with, to get in the news, get his name out there, and get arrested. Like, that's what he wanted. But I say give it to him, right? F him. He got the publicity, but now let's get a charge on him.
And that's what the DOJ is currently investigating. Because unlike with Padilla that we were talking about earlier, DOJ is investigating whether or not charges should be brought here. So let's continue on.
So show it. Let us see it. So let us see it before you take his warrant.
Excuse me, please stay back. No! Take it back. Take it back. Step back. Please, step back. Step back, guys. Step back.
U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens.
So now Lander is saying that they don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Once again, Brad Lander, who wants to be mayor of the People's Republic of New York City, is completely wrong on the law, because immigration agents, while they can't arrest U.S. citizens on immigration grounds, they can certainly arrest U.S. citizens for offenses committed in the agent's presence. That's the law. And once again, Brad Lander is completely misconstruing and misstating the law here.
Yeah, well, I will give him credit for one thing. I didn't hear him announce that he was the New York City comptroller during this interaction, so I'll give him some props there. And the other thing, which I'm surprised he doesn't know, is I don't know this for a fact, but I'd be willing to bet money that I'm right. If you look at all those agents there, I would be willing to bet that they're not all ICE agents, because the president has authorized joint task forces to go after these people that include other federal agencies, including all federal agents of the DEA, the FBI, the ATF. So are you telling me the ATF can't arrest an American citizen? Is that true? Let me know if that's true, because I have a whole bunch of stuff I want to go do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got a list of things I would like to do as well.
You don't have, I'm not obstructing, I'm standing right here in the hallway. I have to see the judicial warrant.
Please step back.
So he's not saying he's the comptroller. Other people around him are saying it.
Step back, guys. You can take
You don't
pictures,
have
but
the
please stay back.
authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Stay back, please. Stay back, please.
Press, we go too. Sorry. No way. I'm safe. Where are you taking him?
To
Your
jail.
business?
Since you have no authority to arrest U.S. citizens.
Where are you taking the controller?
And with what authority?
Why are you arresting the city controller, and where are you taking him? No!
Number one's gonna go. Hang on, please. Number one, hold on.
That might have been Lander. I'm not so sure. It might have been. But all these people around are the ones who are instigating the incident even further. Where are you taking him? To jail. Why are you arresting the controller? Because he impeded federal officers. Where is your judicial warrant? Don't need none. And what authority do you have to arrest him? I watched him commit an offense. Point blank period, black and white, open and shut.
Yes. Is it me, Gene, or do the Democrats seem real insurrection-y lately? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Weren't they like big on Donald Trump is pardoning people who pushed Capitol police officers on January 6th? Okay. So what have the Democrats been doing lately? What are they up to?
Well, you know what?
Real insurrection-y.
Let's give Donald Trump a little credit because he's being consistent. Alex Padilla didn't get any charges against him. Just like Donald Trump would have said that the J6ers shouldn't have gotten any charges against them. So in that respect, Trump might be acting consistently in the administration of justice as he sees it.
Look, I love Donald Trump, bro, but I'm not a fan of consistency and fighting fair. Lock them all up. Fuck them.
That I do know. Another comment from the Coffee Grinder. When we did prison transfers to the feds, we had no... Oh, Coffee Grinder, you were in law enforcement? Or you in corrections? That'll be interesting. We had no idea where they were going. They would have never said, and we never cared. Yeah, I can understand that. If you do have a law enforcement background, that's something you and Galloway both have in common as well. So,
and what he's saying is right, by the way, for security reasons. Anytime you transport a prisoner, you don't tell people where you're going, when you're going, what route you're taking. You don't allow them to use the phone right before you're about to take them to court. If you're leaving a jail, a secure facility, right? Because their friends could be waiting in a car and follow you and try to break them free, right? So yeah, that random woman screaming, "Where are you taking the comptroller?" Hysterical as usual. None of your fucking business, right? He'll get his phone call and his due process down in the holding cell, wherever that may be in that building.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, eventually, a couple hours later, Lander was released. Let me take a step back. In the hours after this incident, every single damn Democratic politician in New York took to a podium, got on social media, and were losing their ever-loving minds over this clearly theatrical moment for a struggling mayoral candidate. Everyone wanted in on the gravy train, whether it be other candidates in the race like Mondani or other candidates in other races, like the person who wants to be comptroller, Justin Brannan, who happens to be a friend of the show. That's why you see Galloway's reaction there. By the way, Justin says hi, by the way. And other people in other offices, like Kathy Hochul, who just had her ass handed to her by Elise Stefanik in D.C. a couple days prior. They all got their sound bites in. It became a media frenzy. Everyone wanted it on the show until the main act hit the stage and Lander was speaking outside of where he was released in New York City.
Make sure that at least they get as much help as we can provide, as New York City, as New York State can provide to help them avoid being separated or being detained.
He's referring to illegal immigrants who are set to be deported, that we must do everything we can to help them from facing the consequences of their actions. I'm going to pose the same question I asked during the Padilla segment. Would he be doing this for New Yorkers who are facing criminal charges?
By the way, Gene, look over his shoulder there. Do you notice who came to help get him sprung out of jail? That's none other than Governor Kathy Hochul, who also announced that the state will be paying $50 million worth of legal fees for illegal immigrants to have legal representation. And I'll tell you who should be the maddest, Gene. The maddest subsets of the American people that should be mad, not you. It should be the blacks that have been voting Democrat their entire lives. Because have you ever seen Democrats fight this hard for the black constituency, which votes 95% for the Democrats? Who have the Democrats been going to bat for and actually getting arrested and fighting police for? Gays and illegal immigrants. F you, black people. That's what the Democrats are saying to you.
When was the last time you saw a city elected official escorting around a person who is wanted on charges locally for, let's say, robbing a bodega or, a simple assault and battery or something like that, escorting them around the city so that NYPD couldn't get to them?
This is what the Democratic Party have always been the party of defund the police. They tried to play this game a few years ago and claim it was actually the Republicans and Donald Trump, which was asinine, right? This is their true self. It's back out there again. And they have to fight this. The midterms are rapidly approaching. None of this is helping them. None of it.
If you like that clip from our new show, Behind Enemy Lines, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other shows, and tune in live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.